and it always important, as brothers, as a family, to bring the reminder to one another, right? Because without these reminders, we face very, very, as we say, harsh challenges ahead, right? Good now. Talk to me.
Hey, Shalom, Yavshakata. Yeah, hear me, sir?
No, audio with something up on this one. Yeah, so like just stand there.
All right, come on, come.
Go ahead, speak, Lame. 1 2 1 2.
Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check. Lah, me I hear one of two apps still, but it seems like you not hear me.
Right. So again, as you know, as we you know it's unmuting. Right. Speak now, Lame.
Hey, Shalom, Yavshakata.
Yeah, some coming in low. I know. Yeah, you're just coming in a little low now.
My sound any better now?
Just now, I'll check. Just checking it on our end here. All right.
All right, come on, come.
So, again, a lot is going on. You know, these reminders, to our brothers and sisters, must be brought out again. Our school location, is number 1 Morris Street, Point 14. Right. Again, come on down to the school. Right. Come on down again. And to break bread, with your family. Come on down, break bread with with your brothers and sisters, right? Again, a lot is going on right now, right? We have also, you know, upcoming, high holidays, right? Right. Next upcoming high holiday, right? Which would be, the memorial blowing a trumpet, right? Which is the first day of the 7th month, Friday, September the 11th, right? 2026. Again, all these you can find in the scriptures, right? In the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, 23, 24 to 25, right? And again, the book of Leviticus, it gives, a very detailed, itinerary on the rundown of, our feast days or high holy days that the Lord, you know, had ordained us and reminded us, through righteous black men, that we as a family, should keep, these feast days, should keep these high holy days, right? And it's important for us to do so because, you know, there's customs and there's ways that this society would portray, and we being consumed by these ways, we would leave off the ways that our forefathers and the traditions that our forefathers walked after, right? And you know it's very important for us, right? So again, this is very important for us, right? To bring these reminders, right? And again, the memorial blowing a trumpet, right? Right, and it says first day of the 7th month, Friday, September the 11th, 2026. Right, again, come on down to number 1 Morris Street, Point 14. Come on down, and to break bread with your brothers, with your family, right? So, what we looking like tonight, Sha? What we looking like?
Um, a lot of murders just take place over the over the weekend,
Right.
right? Port of Spain,
Mm.
Separia, right? Earthquakes,
Wow.
right?
Right. So you know what Officer Shah, is mentioned, and we were going to touch probably on two of these stories because I know the time does run up and we so quick, right? And going to the scriptures to bring that reminder, of exactly what is taking place, right? And as he mentioned that in the early part, coming into the week, there was a triple murder, and then on top of that was a payback, a follow back, and then different zones, different area in the country, right? And when we see, things like this happening, right? Everything again, it would be directly in the records, directly in these scriptures, because of what is taking place right now in the earth, and the Lord is bringing us as a people, as a nation, back to these instructions. And with all these instructions, we would see, and we would face the challenges by the people that are, again, that are wronged about us, because they have one duty, they have one mission, right? And their one mission is always to continue to build the empire, regardless of what, regardless of whoever casualty that might fall in the firing line, as we say, right? Because there's a term that is always used, in the industry, where they say, hey, stay out of the line of fire, or keep yourself out of the line of fire, right? Check your audio app and see how yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, you hear me?
What about this one? That one ain't no thing. All right. One of the phone.
Yeah, you hear me?
I think it's using one of the phone lines. Yeah.
Yeah, you hear me,
One
sir?
of these lines. Okay. All right. Yeah. They're just trying to sort out, the little audio issue in the just stand by now, right? And you know how it is be when the truth coming out. Satan always had to try to delve or try to get himself, in the way, right? But nevertheless, we will continue, because our brothers and sisters, face, a lot of challenges. And as Officer Card one on standby just to come on shortly, right? Even in Jamaica, right? We face the same challenges, right? We face the same oppression, right? And it's very important for us to make it very clear to our brothers and sisters the importance of coming back to these instructions, the importance of holding fast to these laws, statutes, and commandments, because without these instructions, we see what would happen to us, right? And it's very important for us to tune in, to pay attention, right? So again, the brothers and sisters, or the listening audience.
Hey, you hear me now, sir?
Feel free to
Shalom,
call
you
in.
have to talk.
The number is 342
Shalom, Shukata. You hear me, sir?
466 5391 771 1791. Right? Again, feel free call in, ask your questions, any person or any issue that needs to be addressed. Again, we are here, and when I say we are here, this family, right, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, we are here, right? So you read one of the articles now.
All right. There's some Guardian media, right? So the killing over of 3 men at a Lavantil gas station yesterday morning shattered months of a relative peace in one of the country's long trouble crime hotspots. The men were gunned down at the gas station when heavy armed men stormed the compound and opened fire in
Mic
what
check, mic
police
check.
describe as a targeted attack. The triple murder occurred shortly after 9 o'clock at the Unipet gas station at the corner of the Eastern Main Road and Mova Old Road, Lavantil, pushing the country murder total to 209.
Right. So as you know, this scene, played out, and again, again, condolences to the family, go out to the family, to our brothers and sisters, right? And again, for some reason, it is like, every week we could come on the radio show and we could read, a story about, our brothers and or sisters, anyone, as or out of this family, being, as we say, on that fire line, or at a point where they would end up being, the casualty at the end of some, person or some brother's sword, as we say, right? And it's a sad thing. And as we, bring this reminder to this house, to this family, we should take heed, right? Because again, during or at any period or any given period of time, the Lord always had, righteous black men, to bring this reminder, to bring, to this family, to this house, because we would, run after the ways that wouldn't please the Lord, and if we do so, right, now the end result would be the example of the onlooker in this house and this family. And again, no one would like to see their family at the end of any fire line, or being end up in any position, or being the casualty, or being, the one who would be unalive, right, at the hands of any one of our brother and sister, right? Because now when we look in the force today, the majority, or let me say 90% of the force is made up of who? Of all people, black people, right?
Okay.
And the probably the next 10%, they would, seek, the position of not being on that fire line. They would try to take up more the paper hook side. But when you watch the ones who would be on the streets, it would be our face. So automatically it shows us something as a people. If we don't have, that compassion for one another, you think these other nations would have any compassion for us? And just
Right.
as Officer Shah is reading from that storyline, it was again a sad thing. And again, we always, would mourn the loss of our brothers and sisters, because now we understand the compromising situation or the challenges that we face daily, right? We would be in a situation where, we would our hands would be, our spirit would be tested, and in that test, without the right or the proper guidance or the proper counseling, we would end up in a place where it would be very uncompromising. And for this situation that took place here, right, again, it is a sad thing to our community, the black community,
Right.
the Hispanic community, and the Native Indian community, because again, we are the sons of Jacob, the sons of Israel. And every time anyone or member of the family, face or life is being taken away, there's always a sense of grief in this house. We see what happened, again, right throughout, wherever we reside. And this is very important. We have again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Police identified the victim as cell phone Jack 56 of Lot 60, Chenapu mover. Michael Campbell, 29, of Pui Street mover. And Miguel Akil Williams, 23, of Erica Street, Lavantel.
Right? So these are the brothers who are identified, right? And in the initial stage, when the incident just, as we say, took place, like we say, hot off of the press, the first remarks or comments that came across was that a next armed robbery taking place, and it wasn't even, you didn't even went into detail to find out before any motive behind the story was brought to the attention to the public. So automatically a picture was already painted, and that painting of that picture again, it brought again what we'd say a stain again once more to us, and our stain would be continually, our name would be continually stained in this society because of what has already portrayed from the beginning by these other nations. And if we as a family or as a house don't pay attention or as the scripture say, gather ourselves back together to learn these instructions, then we would continue to be the headline on every news article throughout the earth right now. Because now our face would always make headlines throughout the earth, wherever we are, wherever we reside. Because why? The Lord is showing this family something, that we need to come back to these instructions. We need to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? Nothing yet on your end, Ak?
I'm too hard, I don't know what go on. You hear me?
Yeah, nah, I hear, but you're hearing us, right?
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
All right. Just stand by, again, Satan go try yan, but we still here fighting, right? So Lord allow you to come through shortly, right? Just stand by. Right?
Yeah, hear me, sir. You are hear me?
It's very important for us, to take heed, and pay close attention to all that is taking place, because with all these instructions, our oppressor, will continue to have his way, continue to play, or to plagiarize the black community, right? Because, as I say, the picture was painted from the beginning. They say armed robbery, one person tried to run, and he was, pick up. So automatically, they say, right, when you look at the comments, it's like, yeah, in all the most vile names you could think about was posted in those comments. And when you look at it, the majority was not our people, was of the people of the other nations, right? And because they live a life in comfort, and when I say they live a life in comfort, they came here and meet, all four parents, bruised and battered, taken, as we say, oppressed, and they were paid wages. All these other people that came in, they were paid wages. Ask any so-called black, Latino, native Indian who reside at that time, during the time of colonization, if they were paid any wages. They weren't paid any wages. They were forced to do everything that the oppressor required them to do. And then these other people that came about, they came and tried to paint a picture as if, they were faced with the same challenges. Nobody not denying that they had challenges, but their challenge was to take it back to their people and resolve their issue at their home, right? But they didn't do that. They took full advantage, and what you're seeing happening right now is the continuation of that advantage, right? And we need to be, or to come back to these instructions, right? All right. Yeah, we need to come back to these instructions. We need to come back to these, laws, statutes, and commandments. We need to come back to the place that the Lord want us to be, which is to follow after these instructions.
Right.
And it's very important for us as a people and as a family, right? Anything to add, or you already read some money story?
And it's time we really when we're going through the scriptures and thing, right? You have to really take heed and come out of the Christianity, because more or less in the Christian church, that's like they're taking the scriptures just for stories, and what the most I really putting these things is for reality and thing, right? And when you watch like what happened with Cain and Abel, we're really seeing it happening today is this, that we as brothers, two brothers, right? One on a live one, and now when you go and check it now, Cain was to move away from the whole area and thing like that. And what you're seeing happening is this the same thing happening. Now brothers can't pump in their own area and thing like that, and have to be very careful if they're going to the next area and thing too. And same thing happened with Cain. Cain was to move out from area, because why? The same thing we on a live with me brothers and them, right? He might have had a girl in the area he had all the brethren. Now you have to go somewhere else and try to make it somewhere else and thing. And that should never be these things should never be going on. If we understand the scriptures and thing, instead of like stories, and this is the most I put in these things in reality, and think that hey, you gotta love one another and thing like this on our life, and what happening here? Who is profiting when we on our life? Just as the captain was bringing out, all the other nations getting profit from these things and them and thing like that. And we in mourning, we done come through what we come through here already in the Caribbean, and we still putting more pressure. We still putting more pressure on ourselves, and all too again, morning after morning we putting more pressure and think too again. And you know why? We inform what the Most High saying, we records on them day. When you go and check we fathers and all too in the scriptures, you see in the ages we now call out these numbers 56, 30 something, 23. This is the age we die in. When you go in the records with we fathers and them, we forefathers and them is the seeing grandchildren, great grandchildren coming, them still living and thing. We should be dying at old age. And when we body, like, we organs can't take it no more. But what you going on here? We organs good. Everyone of we organs good, but we just going. And you know why? We inform we scriptures about, now the ISPK data bring it to you all, right? Yeah.
Right. So, and again, Officer Shah brought out some very, heavy, and, as we walk after our, culture, our heritage, right? The ways that was laid, by the Most High God, through our fathers, which would be righteous black men holding down, these instructions. It would always, have a very, as the scripture say, it will always be a light to the earth when we follow these instructions. And with that light now, it would always have an impact on the nations that is wronged about us, because now they would recognize this one thing, that these people, whom the Lord choose to look or to rule over society, they have morals, they have value, and they still have compassion. None of these other nations have any of the above. And why I say they don't have any of the above, because if they aren't taught those values and those morals, they would be just like as the beast or wild, living just like they are today. And this is why you would see some of them draw back and study our records and look out of the most, as we say, key factor or principles in our records, and the ones that they could use to manipulate us. And this is why I always say that they see that Psalms 83, they know that T. The reason why I say they know it's our tea is because what they push in society. Because now, if you or us as a people, as a family, don't go after the ways or the customs, as we say, eat, that things that we weren't supposed to eat, what they know? They know that, hey, these people would be, in the position where they, where they would have to yield. And because their pride is so to heighten right now, they would not yield. It is every morning to wake up and to see a black Hispanic or so-called black Hispanic and Native Indian man, and it is like you have to say, yes sir, no, yes madam, sorry, and they would be the one in authority. Now you get go ahead. They would feel sick, because now if we not, as we say, at this point in time ruling, and this is the mindset that they have for us. Imagine when if we were ruling. This is why our King Yahweh Jesus Christ is on his return. Because all that we seeing right now and stories like these we're reading about is just like an eye opener to our brothers and sisters. Even in the sister's statement that she made concerning, as we was reading, the sister of the deceased, one of the young men, made a comment, right? And her comment is like, she had no more tears. This is where we reach. Eh? Check your audio out and see.
May I hear you loud and clear, sir? You hear me?
No.
So okay.
Nothing. Yeah. No sweat. Yeah. Right. So, right, we just again experience a little technical difficulty with the brother online. Right. So, Lord Allah, we sort it out soon. Right. So, imagine, to a point where it's like, all the tears dry up. So you're mute. You're feeling that you have no feeling, you have nothing. That could only be explained by the person who at that given time facing or going through whatever they are going through at that specific time, right? And the reason for that is because now somebody who never went through that cannot explain what this person is experiencing. And a lot of people will try to jump, on as I say, and say, yeah, I understand. You understand what? You went through that already? You ever experienced it? And if your comment is as we say, la or no, then your duty as a brother is to give that support to that individual of what they are going through. And that support is being there for them. This is why it's important for us to hold fast to these instructions. Hold fast to the laws. Because this house, again, will face the challenges or the tests that the Lord ought us to do in order to is like something like this. It's a good house for this call, bad house, statement like that. Yeah, good house and bad house is called here. We have to understand that what our people face. If you do have the experience, and this is why we always say we're not affiliated with any religious group or organization, and we make that clear. Because now we see the destruction of what our oppressors did over a period of time, and the introduction of the religion in this society. It caused havoc in the black community, Hispanic community, and Native Indian community. Havoc, and it continue to do so. Now we have our brothers and sisters, as we say, many of these, as we say, groups that perceive or claim to be that they are in the truth. But now when you look at how they treat our brothers and sisters, they're no way close to what the ISUPK under commanding General Yana is doing. Because now imagine your family in a situation like that, or going through that, and then you without any compassion will say, well, hey, just like how you deserve this, or you deserve that. You understand oppression, you understand slavery, you understand what is brought upon or to, as we say, living in a place that continually suppressing your spirit. You understand that? Now if you don't understand that, then you as I said, there are men who was charged in the scriptures, in the records, for doing so. Men who wasn't sent out to speak this, they were charged and have a whole, as we say in the book of Ezekiel, where the scriptures say, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the flock of my people. Because why? You didn't understand what the people were challenged, or the challenges of the people. They didn't ask. Automatically, as we say, you open the book, just like a man that don't have understanding, and start to do likewise and teach men to do so. And what happened now? Now the people who you, as we say, who you mimic or who you follow after, don't have a care or have any compassion for us as a family, as a people. Right? Where Sha?
The scriptures.
Right? Yeah. Go to it, huh?
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15.
Right.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Right. Where we at?
Matthew 18 and verse 15.
Right. So yes, I'm gonna catch up with you. Right. Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15. Right. Read it one more time.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15.
Right.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee.
Right. So it is like a reminder, because now what we see happening just before all this was taking place. These brothers, as we say, were willing to as we say, to cut the beef that was happening. What we see happening now, we see the intervention of let me say, the service providers of the of you know of the country intervening and deeming it that that they don't want no gathering, and they would use, as we say, the the or use remarks that we are currently under SOE, and any sort of gathering could deem a violation, right? Because now there are a lot of factors behind it, and now we seeing our king mentioning or making it clear or making it known that is like this: if your brother shall trespass against you, because we understand, as we say, the beef that is taking place between this house and this family here in Trinidad, and these brothers were willing to resolve it, and it is out of the scriptures because Christ said this, right? Read on.
Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Right, and this is what they were willing to do. Read the next part. Continue.
If we shall hear thee, thou shalt gain thy brother.
Imagine this did happen. Would that happen? You think it would have any numbers? Like how the list, you think it would have any, as we say, any religious names? Rasta, Muslim. You think it would have any names? 6, 7, 8, 9. You think it would have any names?
So like I say, if they do this, they might be drinking some carrot and stag or cow wheels, a little fish broth, a little cow wheel soup and thing,
Because something has been gained. Something has been gained, right? Just now, right? Jump to 21 and I watch this whole chapter is very enlightening to us, right? Check your audio. I can see if you
Mic check. You hear me?
yeah nothing.
Matthew chapter 18 verse 21.
Right.
Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me?
Right.
And I forgive him till seven times.
Right. And this was a question. Because remember now, as our king break it down concerning with this trespass, and it went into detail. Now something was still on the mind of Peter, and he wanted to ask this question, and the question that he asked, how oft shall I forgive, or how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Till 7 times. Read on.
Verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
Right. So now he just use, as we say, a larger number. Then he will go more into details concerning how this go about, because though some people hear this and they say till 70 times 7, there's always a time period for grace, and that grace will do what? It will run out. He used this as an example to let we understand, because you know why he used it in that perspective. What we was at that particular time, we were under the Romans, and what he knew that persecution that we face as our people, we would error, and then our leaders of the day, what they would do, they would help in the oppression of us by doing what? Taking up the customs and the ways of the as we say, the leaders of that day. or who was ruling over us. Because it's not like you're short-sighted, you understand what was taking place to us at that given time. Right? Yes, I'm more.
That's like I said, that's like we're now saying there and all to right them thanks for IWER George, bringing every station and thing, right?
Right.
Every thing
Both
and we
are
running,
nice.
we was there, we come back and thing, right? And to show that again that right, or I didn't know before. Like you said to the Christian leaders and them, right? And to all the Muslim mosques and them. If I didn't know before now, yeah, you speak it coming. And still you're hearing that they're hearing you speaker telling black people Christ is black. We're telling black people again, yeah, speaker saying that the Hispanics, the Native Indians, and the so-called black man and thing, right, is the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And up to now you go still not you go say, boy, you know what, boy? Let me go and tell my congregation, boy, you was wrong. And thing, we really go and say, boy, hey, you are really we really God chosen people. We have a lifestyle to live. We is not a folly nation. You will not still hear in the hey. Now let me make these changes on them. And I say how stubborn again these Christian leaders and them is still today.
Because you know why, and again you bring out a real heavy point. You know why? Because now we have been consumed in our society and thinking that the ways that that is laid before us, is the right way. And when I say is the right way, meaning that whatever they present, it worked for them. And in that working for them now, they didn't even see the reflection. As the scripture say, and they look and that reflection, you see, they look past the reflection. So now they start to see themselves alone, and just like again, this is what these other nations want us to do. Because now they would see themselves as a house and a family, but we would see ourselves as a family separated or set apart from one another. And this is as we say, their gain or their demise. Right? So as we see, our king making it or breaking it down to Peter. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants.
Right, and you see this here. Note this. Everything that taking place right now. Any king that has or ruling over any province or any, let me say, people, he would always have an account for everyone. Because why you would have an account for everyone? Because records is being taken every day. And as we read on down, we go see, as records is being taken, what took place. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him.
Right, and now as he started check the records, because remember now records is the records being pulled. Now one was brought to him. Go ahead.
Which owned him 10,000 talents.
And this person that was brought to him, he owed the king. And he didn't just owe the king, he owed the king, this amount. Go ahead.
Verse 25. But for so much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife, and his children, and all that he had, and payments to be made.
So now, not having, as we say, or the amount to pay back the king, this was the penalty. This was the poor, as we say, the given penalty that should happen to him.
Right.
Go ahead.
The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all.
What the servant do? He fall and he say, have patience with me, and I will pay you all. We understand who we serve. We understand if we fail to follow these instructions, that we owe, that we have a debt to pay. We understand that. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion, and loosened him, and forgave him the debt.
Right? And he being the king. Remember now we have servants, other servants are wrong. They would look to see what type of king you are. And because of that, you demonstrated, as you say, a level of you ruling or looking over the affairs of the people. Because now in that position, what you would do? You would serve. So you look past the, as we say, the penalty, and understand now. You deserve a chance. Go ahead.
Verse 28. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence.
Yes, so now going to look at the flip side right now. Now, he was a servant of the king. Now it shows that structure, that order. And just like in society, that I would say the upper class, the middle class, and the low class. Now being, as you say, in the middle now. Now you, men owing you. Go ahead.
And he laid hands on him.
This is one of the most important parts. When he went before the king laid hands on him.
La, he laid hands.
Look at what has happened to us over a time period as a people and as a family in running after the ways and the customs of these other nations. Because as we say, because of your pride and because you can't have your own way. This is the mark or the trait of what we would see our oppressors do when they don't have the way. Every day they show them what they'd be doing in movies. If you don't follow the one time. Now you in a position now, as you say, just get, as you say, the king redeem you. Now the Lord, as we say, the Lord that just bring it right back to you. To show you the kind of person or the individual that you was. Go ahead.
He laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that thou owe us. What?
What verse here?
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 28.
Right. So now this part is very important. So you think that what we're seeing right now happening, everything is being recorded and would be accounted for. Because at some given point in time, we were as we say, we had the Lord gave us a pass to get ourselves right. Now you with your carnal self now ain't even recognize that. Because you know why? Society already cloud your judgment. And why it had already cloud your judgment? Because now you take up the ways and the custom. We see what we see happening right now, as we say, with the upcoming, so-called Emancipation Day. A lot of I just read the article, is like it's so insane. The high or the commissioner of this other people deeming that it is like that day should be pushed back to another day. And again, it was so an insult to us to deem us or label us as a different people or different nation of people. Because now we just come up and we let people, hey, we none of Africans. Straight, plain, clear. This is not who he is. They belong to our people. We are the children of Israel or Yashala or Jacob, the sons of Jacob. This is who we are, our family, our nation, our people. And their ways and their customs, they have their ways. We have our ways and our customs, and our ways and our customs is through these records. And this is why every problem that happens today with us, it could be fixed. We could read about the solution, and it's like, hey, check yourself. And what's happening right now? This is a check-in for us to check ourselves, to see how we deal with your brother. We read in 15. If your brother trespass against you, we say to go out to him and him alone. And if thou has, we again our brother. Now the question as asked lower down, how much times? And because now a king understand what we going through now, we in captivity. But you know what we will do? We will uphold the integrity of the Most High and our king. As we say, we rehearse the righteous acts, just like we read before, we mentioned before, in the upcoming high holiday on September 11th, the memorial blowing a trumpet. In the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, we're going to follow those were days that the Lord ought us as a family to do, to follow. Right? Where we at?
Verse 29. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all.
Right? And say it's like you imagine you guess so your mind, I just say, is like nah. The same thing you ask the king is like, have patience with me. Right? Right? So like, yeah, if you're still on, just check it and see now.
Mic check.
Go ahead.
Mic check. You hear me?
He's singing the audio singing low. I know if it's down here or yeah, it's loud outside. And this box here. They hearing you outside on the audio, so it's like in the studio here, we ain't actually hearing you now, right? Yeah.
Mic check. I keep getting a prompt saying unmute mic, and every time I do it,
yeah,
it seems
right.
like it now.
Yeah, right. Salakia? Because usually that come through on this here now. I ain't getting nothing on the line here. Yeah. Right? So we see, just stand by now. Just stand by. Right? Yeah. So we see that, the same thing that he asks the king, this servant is asking him. Have a little patience. Have some patience. Bear with me. As we say, I go pay you. That bear with me now. Alright? What was the response?
Verse 30. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt.
Right, and imagine this. He wouldn't even listen. He wouldn't even take heed, to give air to this servant of his. But automatically he judge him immediately. Imagine the king that do that to him, and your servants are wrong. Because now you, as we say, you is the king. You're ruling over all the provinces. The servants and them go, this is how you understand, hey, yeah, what's going on now. How you portray your kingship in serving. And what we see right now today in this society, this is the same exact thing. They don't want to hear us. You know what they will do? They will bring, as we say, any
Mic check,
legal,
mic check.
any illegal thing to stir up strife in the community, and we will read about that just now as well. This is what they would do. This is what they, as we say, their whole initial take.
Mic check.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. The outside of the studio, your audio coming in now. But like in here now, we ain't actually hearing, you know. So if you're talking, I won't actually hear you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got one concert. Yeah, man.
Right? So, but yeah, so as you know, it's very important for us. It's very important to us. And why it's important for us? Because now we would end up in a position just like this. And we see it happening daily. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Read on.
Verse 31. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their Lord.
So imagine you have men now. Yeah, men under here too. They see, remember I say that the king had men watching. So now if them see what you doing, you ain't fit. You ain't fit. Because what you gonna do? You gonna do me that? It's like now, boy, he might pull the records on me. I might owe him less. What you gonna do? You go sever something. What you gonna do, man? Immediately, what you do? Went to the Lord. Go ahead.
And told unto their Lord all that was done.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 32. Then his Lord, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant.
You understand when he say that 70 times 7, it have a period of time? Because now, when that come to you ready to serve? I love the Lord with all my heart, with all my soul. You ready to serve? There's instructions inside here. And without these instructions, we will face the most harshest, as we say, torment from, not serving our people. And we go read about that just now in the book of Proverbs. Read a little more, let me close off with this, and we go to Proverbs after.
O thou wicked servant, I forgive thee all that debt, because thou desired me.
Right? And read over that, Babu Kasha.
Then his Lord, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant.
We call him.
O thou wicked servant.
Right? But why you been called wicked? Because now you take up the customs, the ways of these, as we say, these other nations. And in taking up those ways now, you become wicked to your own brother. Go ahead.
I forgive thee all that debt, because thou desired me.
Right? And why he forgave him all the debt? Because now he asks the Lord for patience. Have patience. I go pay you. He desire and move the scripture. Let's say the scripture says when he move the king to compassion. Go ahead.
Verse 33. Shouldst not thou also have had compassion?
What now say? You should have that same compassion. To who? Go ahead.
On thy fellow servant.
On who?
on thy fellow servant,
on your own brethren, on your own brother. Go ahead.
even as I had pity on thee.
Because now I did the same thing. I had compassion. I had pity on you. Go ahead.
Verse 34. And his Lord was wroth, and delivered him to the tormentors, till he should pay all that was due unto him.
Right, and you know who is your tormentors? You know who is your tormentors? Who is our tormentors today?
Oppressors.
Deliver us into the hands of our oppressor. Deuteronomy chapter 28. We face harsh challenges. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mic check, mic check.
All right. Salakia, come on, come on. Come.
Mic check, you hear me?
If you're there, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm still here, still here. You hear me?
yeah. It's like you're coming in soft in the audio, but on the air, the song is a wab now.
Okay, so the sound Tuab. You hear me Tuab now?
Right, but I hear it what we say now, so I can respond, you know, you know. So if you have something to, I want to do this.
Yeah, all right. So it sound like me. All right.
Yeah,
So
not
if me
now
I
there
get
that
through on the ear,
I will more clearer.
then maybe the problem is it just not reach you guys in the studio. But what would I say is, you know what I mean? All right. Whether you made to pay attention to Trinidad news, and it said that the gangs, right? The gangs call a truce, which was a good thing. You understand? Was a good thing because they found out who the real gang was, and that the real gang was, you know what I mean, the police
Let me
force
close
and the
that.
government. You understand? No. Where would I say to our brothers and sisters in Trinidad? You know what I mean? There is no brotherhood outside of the UPK. You understand? It's all good and well that, you know what I mean, you want to live at peace with each other. See? But unless you come inside the ISUPK and learn what is real
Right.
brotherhood, learn these laws, statutes, and commandments, you know what I mean, that was given to us by the Most High, then you're not going to know how to keep that truth there. You understand? You're not going to know how to maintain the peace. You understand? And that is why we implore you, link up the brothers them in Pine 14. You understand? I think I said this in a previous video. You understand? If you really want to maintain the peace, you have to link up the ISUPK in Pine 14. Make them brothers they teach you know to stay at peace. Because, you know what I mean, the scripture say, you know, you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and wickedness in high places. You know what I mean? You may think that, you know what I mean, gang warfare in Trinidad or in Jamaica or through the Caribbean is just black people not wanting to live at peace with each other. All of this is by design. You understand? There are mechanisms against, you know, that would want, you know, to go against each other so that they can paint the negative, you know what I mean, stereotype image and the media about black people. So to escape them thing there, you have to link up with the ISUPK. Make we show you guys how to live at peace with each other. Other than that, you're going to just fall to the systems that is in place that wants to divide you. You understand? And with that, I yield. Slack.
Musa and Christ, give it up for the brother. Give it up for the brother. Right? And again, you brought a very, very valid point, right? And as we read, what we're reading here in Matthew 18, right? You know, in order to understand, you know, how to being a servant, you must come in here in the ISUPK. And this is something that we always would continue to say, because now we come up under righteous black men. Commanding General Yahana, is the only man with the rank and the authority, because why he was given that rank and the authority? Because he understand how to serve.
That's
And
right.
in understanding how to serve now, what they do is they will teach men how to serve as well, because the men above him taught him that. And if that spirit in this society overtake you, now you would do just like the as we say, the servant who didn't have compassion when the king was reading about. You wouldn't have compassion just like him. And what you would do, you would do what? You would entreat or treat your brother as nothing. And the oppressor would enjoy that. They would love that. Now they could come up on different platforms and make, comments and make certain memes and call us all different types of names. And they would enjoy it. And you know who would follow on? The same ones who carry that same spirit of our people. And just like Officer Shah read that last part, Shah, from 34.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 34. And his Lord was wroth, and delivered him to the tormentors, till he should pay all that was due unto him.
Right, and he would end up in that same position. Right, read on.
Verse 35. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you.
Who would do it unto us?
Our heavenly Father.
The Lord will do this unto us. Go ahead.
If you from your heart forgive not every one his brother their trespasses.
Because why? The scriptures say in Jeremiah chapter 10, it said to learn not the way of the heathen. It
Right.
was there or recorded for a specific purpose. We want not to learn those ways. And if we did that, now what would be recognized? The Lord will recognize that, hey, because you learn their ways, now you need to be tormented as well. You need, as we say, that treatment. Just like you didn't have compassion for, I had compassion for you, you were supposed to demonstrate that same spirit, you didn't do that. Just as was recorded, it said this truth will be handed unto or passed down unto righteous men to carry this on. This is important for us, right? From they jump to let me go to the Proverbs, right? Yeah. Anything else, Ark, if you want to bring out before we go into this Proverbs?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Yeah, sir.
Right.
Just to say, go ahead, sir.
We at, Shah?
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 14.
Right. Read it. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 14. Forwardness is in the heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord.
And this is what we see happened right here in this same story that we just read about. That when Peter asked the question, Christ break it down to him. Break it down to him. And now he understood something. This is why, after our king passed, they were still, the understanding was still, wavering. And then, he appeared unto them, and then they recognized and they understood, all that was taught to them was the way of a servant. And the way of a servant is to always serve your people and to teach them to do so.
Right.
And this is what the other nations do understand. This is why they would always see themselves as, having this lavish amount, or living the lifestyle, or living in heaven and enjoying, as we say, the riches of the society, and have no compassion for anyone under them, not knowing you're supposed to be serving the people, right? And as it say, forwardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken with remedy.
Right? Without remedy. Right? Suddenly he shall be broken without remedy. All oppressor would be, as we say, would it all for all that he done, it will come so quick. What we seen happening right now, we seen our kingdom falling. We seen these nations falling because they, as we say, they're so forward, right? And everything that they devise, it would be brought to naught. Go ahead.
Verse 16. These 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him.
And the 7th one is an abomination unto the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 17. A proud look.
1, a proud look.
A lying tongue.
2, a lying tongue. Tell me, if this is not, your oppressor, or our oppressor. When I say your oppressor, wherever we are, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indian, and we not following these instructions, and the people them that torment us daily or rule over us, this is who they are. Go ahead.
And hand that shed innocent blood.
Read that again.
And hand that shed innocent blood.
We learn that from them, because being around them, we pick up the ways and the customs, and it went even way back in, as we say, in servitude, in bondage in Egypt. And now a man of the Lord come to us now, and now we start to question the man of the Lord. Our tormentors will torment us. This is why they push all their drugs and guns in our community, because it's like that torment is like to wake us up. The scripture says, high time that we wake up out of sleep. Time for us to stop sleep in Trinidad, Jamaica. Time for us to stop sleep. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And heart that deviseth wicked imagination.
Everything they think about to push in the community is wickedness. Is wickedness. Go ahead.
Feet that be swift in running to mischief.
Right? And everything that they do, they want to do it quick. Cover it up. This is mischief. Go ahead.
Verse 19. A false witness that speaketh lies.
And everybody that they bring to testify against us, they would come with their lies. What we see coming up right now, I say emancipation is on the horizon right now. And a lot of lies is being promoted around that. A lot of lies is being promoted around that. Meaning that there were people that were forced here out of the will, and there were people that were brought here for paid wages. Tell me if that equal. Just read the last part before you bring a comment, right? And this is the 7th. Go ahead.
A false witness that speaketh lies.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And he that soweth discord amongst brethren.
Read that one again.
A false witness that speaketh lies.
The last part.
And he that soweth discord among brethren.
When they do or promote or push anything in the black community, what they do?
Soweth discord amongst brethren.
They want us to be separated. What we see happen, as we say, just as these brothers were unalived by brothers, now our next brother faced that same situation a couple of days after. because now you living on this side of the road and on this side of the road. But because we can't see eye to eye, and just like what we read in the book of Matthew, these men wanted to resolve that issue, meaning they were coming to sit down together. But what happened? There is someone in the midst that does that, as we say, all these 6 things, and the seventh is what? The seventh, they say, is what? Is an abomination to the Lord.
Can.
They wanted, or their mindset is always to sow the score amongst us. But know this, the Lord always had righteous black men to bring this reminder, right? Read 20 and I go yield.
Verse 20, my son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother.
Right? Because now these instructions is like a mother, is like a father, and it draw reference to parenting. Not just one parent, but the both. A house that has both parents, you would see a big difference than a house that parents is being separated or set apart. These laws were given to us for a specific reason, but our oppressor, their whole way is to have us to move away from these instructions. I yield. Yeah.
Right, and that's why you're bringing out, with emancipation, emancipation coming up, right, and also independence, right? When you check the history of these things and them, right, they that's why they say they bring we from, from Israel, which is our that we homeland, right? And when you come back here now, they bring you all in the West Indies, they bring you all in the Americas, they rape, they kill, they murder we, and thing, right? Torture, we still doing it today. And then after now, how can I celebrate something that, hey, if somebody unalive my son or my daughter, my brother, and then how I could come and say, hey, I celebrating that I put on a dress and beating drums. Emancipation should never be celebrated to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Neither independence.
Right.
And you beating a drum, badang, badang. Emancipation come every year, emancipation go every day. Independence come every year, and they going and we celebrating something that should never be taking place. And how dumb that could be.
Right. So again, and as Officer Shah bringing out, we celebrating a lie. To us, dine we custom. So like Officer Caldwell, any last remarks before we close off? Yeah, not bad feedback. Yeah, nah. Yeah, so like, yeah, we was getting a bad feedback now. The feedback, that probably on our end now, right? So, yeah. So like, I'll give a call. So we up on the time now. We up on the time. So again, Tawada for coming through again. Right. Lord allow, we sort this out. Right. So